このマンションが私の家だよ。コンセントはどこ？バイキングに行きたい。Did you get what all those sentences mean? マンション、コンセント、バイキング。All those words sound kind of familiar to you, right? But you might be misunderstanding what they truly mean. So, what do they actually mean in Japanese? Let's find out. What's up, Japan enthusiasts? 皆さんこんにちは. I'm Max. Welcome back to my channel where we dive into the world of Nihongo and Japanese culture. So today we're going to be looking at 20 most major confusing loan words in Japanese, or maybe I could even call them Japanglish. If you have studied Japanese for a while or watched anime or read manga before, you've probably heard of some of the loan words that I'm going to show you in this video, or you've probably heard of all of them, but you might not be understanding them perfectly because they all sound really familiar to English speakers, but some of the loan words mean different in Japanese. So I'm gonna show you the meanings of those loan words and also some of the fun fact about those words. I will explain all those words from the Japanese perspective, Japanese point of view, so that you will not be confused with those loan words anymore in Japanese. So let's get into it. Before we get into the actual explanation of those words, let me tell you a little bit about what loan words or gairaigo are in Japanese. Gairaigo literally mean words that come from outside. So they are words borrowed from other countries or other languages, and they are a big part of the Japanese language nowadays, mostly coming from English today. Well, historically speaking, a lot of loan words came from like Portuguese, Spanish, and German. I won't get deeper into that in this video, but I just want you to know that these words are from other countries, other languages. So loan words are mostly written in Katakana, which is one of the writing systems in Japanese used for mainly writing foreign languages, foreign words. So loan words. For example, desk, that comes from the English word desk, and computer, that comes from English computer. Those words are mostly, almost always written in katakana. And Japanese people know that those words come from other languages by just looking at them. Nowadays, there are so many things around us that come from other countries. When the Japanese language was made, those things didn't exist, but we imported those things and those ideas or anything that can be written in katakana. And we tried to differentiate them from like the Japanese words and foreign languages words. That's how you differentiate Hiragana and Kanji and Katakana. With that being said, let's actually get into the list of the loan words. Alright, so the first one is manshon. Manshon. Does it sound familiar to you? Maybe yes. You're probably thinking of a mansion. That's that big, luxurious, gorgeous, huge house. But in Japanese, mansion doesn't mean mansion in English. So in Japanese, mansion are multi-unit apartment buildings, but bigger apartment buildings, like the apartment buildings that have like 7, 8 or more floors. Those buildings are mansion. But if they only have 3 floors or 4 floors or even 2 floors, then we call them apato instead of mansion. These are mansion and these are apato. 次の外来語はテンション。It sounds like tension in English, right? You stretch something and then you feel the tension You feel the tension in this thing, in the string. But in Japanese, tension doesn't really mean that kind of tension, but more about your spirit, your energy, your feeling, your emotion. I think it's easier if I give you some examples. テンションが高い。テンションが高い is like you're highly spirited. You are highly energized. テンションが高い。だから今僕はめちゃくちゃテンションが高いです。If you're feeling down, then your energy level is pretty low, right? Then that's テンションが低い。And when you're low on energy, like テンションが低い、but you wanna hype up yourself, then テンションを上げる。テンションを上げる。You raise your energy. テンションを上げる is like you hype up yourself.And テンションが下がる is like something makes you feel down. テンションが下がる。でも僕はいつもテンションが高いです。皆さんもテンションを上げていきましょう。The next word is カンニング。カンニング。カンニング。This sounds like cunning in English, like the adjective cunning. It doesn't really mean what it means in English. It kind of has that negative connotation of cunning in the Japanese word カンニング, but it actually means cheating on tests and exams. At school, you have exams, you have tests, and you have the cheat sheet. You put it somewhere hidden and you try to, cheat on your tests, then that's カンニング。カンニングをする。カンニングをする。Your teacher finds out your カンニング、then カンニングが見つかる。カンニングが見つかる。Wow! カンニングはしない方がいいですね。Good luck on your exams if you are taking any exams in the near future. Alright, so the next one is コンセント。コンセント。コンセント。コンセント。It sounds like consent in English. Consent. The agreement, consent. But in Japanese, it totally means different. It's totally different word. That's actually a plug-in, like in the wall, in your house. That part where there are holes and you plug in the cables, that part is コンセント。コンセント。The word コンセント actually came from the word concentric plug, which was actually commonly used back then. The next one is サラリーマン。サラリーマン。サラリーマン。So サラリーマン, like salaryman, actually means a white-collar worker. I actually don't really know what salaryman sounds like in English, like for English native English speakers. In Japanese, when you say salaryman, you only think of those people who are wearing suits and going on a train and to commute, and then you work at an office, and then you do this or you do whatever. By the way, for female white-collar worker, we use OL. OL. It's actually an abbreviation of office lady. I don't like that word OL. I don't know if it's commonly used nowadays, but it has been used for a long time. Salaryman is a male white-collar worker. OL, a female white-collar worker working at an office. Next loan word is アルバイト。アルバイト。アルバイト。This one might not sound familiar to English speakers, but this word came from the German word Arbeit with an English pronunciation, maybe Arbeit. And what Arbeit in German means is to work, So, アルバイト, does that mean to work? Not as a whole. So, アルバイト is actually a part-time job.アルバイト is specifically referring part-time jobs. You want to work as a part-timer, then you can say アルバイトをしたい。アルバイトをする。アルバイト not to just work, but as part-time. Alright, going to the next one. バイキング。バイキング。バイキング。Of course, バイキング can also mean those people, Viking, but Usually when we say Baiking, we talk about the all-you-can-eat style meal. Buffet style? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct, but buffet style equal Baiking. Why do we use the word Baiking for that kind of meal? That's actually named after Imperial Viking, which is a Japanese restaurant inspired by the Scandinavian smorgasbord. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but smorgasbord. So Scandinavian smorgasbord style Japanese restaurant called Imperial Viking started doing that all-you-can-eat style meal, the Viking style meal, and that became like popular, and then all the other restaurants started doing that, and they all called that kind of style Viking. And nowadays we use Viking as in all-you-can-eat style meals a lot. Viking 行きたい、Viking 食べに行きたい at like good hotels for breakfast we eat Viking. Okay, the next one is フロント Fronto comes from the word front, like front and back, front. The actual meaning of the word in Japanese fronto, it usually means the front desk or the reception area of the hotel, the front desk. We call that fronto. When you go to a hotel and then when there's a phone in your room and it has the number, like fronto へは8番, call 8 for the front desk. It only just says fronto. It doesn't say fronto desk. So you need to know when you see fronto at a hotel, that means the front desk. So you can just call that number 8 and then call the front desk fronto. Okay. The next one is handle. Handle. So what kind of handle? We call the steering wheel of a car handle. I'm pretty sure a lot of Japanese people, when they go to English-speaking countries and if they drive, then they will probably most likely call the steering wheels handle. Handle for like vehicles like cars and motorcycles. Handle. The next one is クレーム. Maybe it sounds familiar to you again, like claim. It actually comes from the English word claim, but it doesn't have the meaning of the English word claim in the Japanese word クレーム. When you say claim in English, you use it like to make a claim, like you own it, you want to own it. But that's not what クレーム means in Japanese. It actually means a complaint. So if you work at a store and a customer comes and they make a complaint on your services, on your products, then お客様からクレームが来る. Whenever you receive complaints from your customers or from anybody else, then クレームが来た. 嫌ですね、クレームは. Alright, so we are actually halfway done. Are you following me? Well, just take a break from this seemingly endless list of the long words. Take time to review all those words that I showed you. So far, there are 10 long words. And if you knew any of them like perfectly, then please leave a comment and show off. Try to make like sentences or something using any of the words that I showed you so far and leave them in the comments. Maybe you guys can talk about how they can use those words and everything. If you still know some loan words but I haven't showed you yet, then you might find them in the next half of this video. Okay, so if you need to take a break and come back and we'll go into the next half. Alright, so the next one is フットワーク. Footwork. This word comes from the English word footwork. I don't really know what it actually specifically means in English, but in Japanese, footwork is used when you talk about someone being really flexible in like going around, going to places or going to appointments and everything. super flexibly. It often like metaphorically, it's so hard to say, metaphorically refers to a person's ability to adjust quickly or to be flexible on going to going somewhere. If you're really flexible and if you are really easy to adjust to situations and any sudden events, then you can say フットワークが軽い Your footwork is light. That means you go anywhere, you go everywhere if you are asked. So like your boss, your friends ask you if you want to go out with them and you say, yeah, let's go, without even thinking. フットワークが軽い In Japanese nowadays, we call those people who have the 軽いフットワークふっかるフットワークが軽いふっかる僕は結構ふっかるな人です And the next one is コスパ actually comes from the word cost performance. So what does cost performance, cost performance, コスパ means? So it basically means that you invest some money or time into doing something, right? You invest your time and money into something and there's a performance that comes from it. If you can expect high quality performance from the cost that you invest into it, then that means it's コスパがいい You get a significant performance from what you pay. Then that's コスパがいい But if you pay significant amount of money and you don't get any significant outcome from it, then that's コスパが悪い Alright, the next word is ギャル Like the English word gal. In Japanese, it actually has the meaning of the English word gal, like girl. This kind of group of people that you see on the screen now, that's gyaru. They have that kind of specific fashion, and I don't know how to describe them because over the period of time, what gyaru actually means has been changing a little by little. Back then, gyaru was this. It's just a group of people that wear clothes like this, wear makeup like this. Those are gyaru. And the next one is saboru. It totally sounds like a Japanese word, and that doesn't even sound like a loan word. But it actually came from the word sabotage. Am I pronouncing it right? Sabotage. In English, sabotage means to destroy. But in Japanese, saboru doesn't mean to destroy. Saboru is actually a verb. Saboru, 何々する saboru. That's more like to skip work, like skip work or skip classes. You're lazy, you don't want to go to work, you don't want to go to classes, then you skip classes, you skip what you have to do, and that's サボる being lazy. 僕も学生の頃は何回か授業はサボったことはあります。Okay, so the next one is コーナー。In English, corner means like this, that corner. But in Japanese, it could mean that kind of corner, but it's more for a section of a store that sells a specific kind of items. For example, like if that specific part of that store sells futon, then that's futon corner. And if this part sells beverages, then 飲み物コーナー、お酒コーナー. That's what we usually use the word コーナー for. The next one is abaut. So it sounds like about. It kind of has the feeling of the word about in the Japanese word abaut. In Japanese, about usually means like rough or like not perfect or like not consistent or not specific enough. So in Japanese, about means more like vague in English. It could be used positively and also negatively, but usually about is used in a negative situation. あなたのプランはめちゃくちゃ about です。Your plan is really vague. They don't really understand what the plan actually is. About すぎてわからない。I don't understand because it's too vague. That's how you use about. The next one is セレブ。セレブ。セレブ。Celeb actually comes from the word in English celebrity. Celebrity. In English, if you say celebrity, that means those famous people on TV, on the internet. You see them in advertisements and everything. But in Japanese, when we say celeb, we are usually talking about rich people. We call rich people celeb. お金持ちの人は celeb. If they say あなたはセレブですね to you, then you might think, I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a normal person. They mean that you are pretty rich, basically. セレブな生活をしていますね. You are living a rich life. By the way, celebrity in Japanese is actually 芸能人. 芸能人. Alright, there are only 3 loan words left in the list. And the next one is スマート. Smarto. Smarto sounds literally like smart, like you are smart. But in Japanese, smarto could mean the actual English word smart, like you're smart, you're wise, smart. But usually when we say smarto, it's often used as in slim and elegant posture of somebody, like the body shape is smarto. Like for example, if you see a slim and elegant woman and you say, あの女性はスマートですね, then that usually means that they look good, basically. They look gorgeous. That's smarto. It does not have a negative connotation like at all. It's all positive. In Japan, we probably tend to talk about people's appearance more often than other countries. When you hear smarto, like あなたすごいスマートだね. That means they are appraising your outfit or your style or your posture. So just say ありがとうございます. Next one is バイク. Bike comes from the word bike, like bicycle. But in Japanese, when we say bike, we are talking about motorcycles. So motorcycles are bike and bicycles are 自転車. When somebody says, バイク乗りたいわ, that doesn't mean that they want to ride a bicycle, but they want a motorcycle and they want to ride it. Motorcycles are bike and bicycles are 自転車. Finally, the last loan word, ミス. Miss actually comes from the word mistake in English. Miss in Japanese is mistake. So when you make a mistake, then ミスをする. You don't say ミスを作る. To make is 作る, right? But when you say in Japanese, ミスをする. ミスをする. この動画を撮っている間も僕はめちゃくちゃいっぱいミスをしました. Don't afraid of ミス. Try hard and be 元気. Alright, so that's it for today's video. お疲れ様でした. めちゃくちゃ多かったですね. もう外来語はもっと多いですけど、めちゃくちゃいろんな外来語をここで今日学んだと思います. Did you know all the meanings of the loan words that I showed you in this video? And if you did, well done, すごい. If you didn't, that's fine. And if you knew any of them, that's still super great. And like I said in the middle of this video, if you want to make sure that you understand and you remember the meanings of the words that I showed you, maybe you can try making sentences or even a sentence or a phrase or phrases using those words and leave them in the comments. You guys can discuss and you guys can help each other too. And if I have time and if I see anything that's really interesting, I will comment back. So if you like this video, please hit the like and leave a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, Max Japanese, please subscribe and see you in the next one. Bye.